The Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A little excitement, come on.
Well, I subdued manner after your Zen meditation experience.
Mitch has a little excitement going on with us.
All right. First item on the agenda is the accounts payable docket. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming?
Aye.
And Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye. Next, from the Maintenance Department, approval of contract extension for floor mats with Wildman Business Group. Good morning.
Good morning, Helen Watuski, Maintenance Department, lower level, 235-9666. We are requesting an extension of the Wildman contract for floor mats. They are offering us at least a 10% discount for the pricing we're paying now. They are asking for a 3-year extension.
Was happy to see the extension, holding it at that price.
Yes,
Good
yes,
work.
that's unusual, yes.
Any questions for Helen?
Negative.
If not, do we have a motion to approve the contract?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter?
Aye.
And Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, hon.
Next is from the Assessor's Office, approval of bid award for commercial and industrial annual review services. Mr. Castellan.
Good morning, Michael Castellan, St. Joseph County Assessor with offices located on the 3rd floor. Recently, we put out the bid for the Commercial Industrial Annual Review of Services. After review of the bids, the most responsive and responsible bidder is coming from Vision, so we're requesting that the Commissioners award the contract to Vision Government Solutions. And I'll answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Castellan? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the contract to the Vision Government Solutions.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Is that an aye?
That was an aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Fleming?
Aye.
And Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Archives, approval of contract with Signature Conservation.
Hi, Katrina Carter, Archives and Rec Center, 1140 South Lafayette. When we were in the process of scanning the commissioner minutes for IPG, we came across the second book, which is a record of ditches, which is in pretty bad shape. So this is to repair and preserve the book so that we can scan it and use it for have it for future history and keep it at least somewhat safe. So this is a contract with a company that the state archives recommended. And the 2 girls that are in this company used to work for the state archives. So we're asking for the more expensive one so we can at least get all the pages separated from the sewn binding, because the binding is sewn, so we can get the images at least scanned. And they'll take the fragments that have fallen off the pages back to the correct pages. So it's a lot of work they're going to put in, but this way we can preserve the book.
Are you finding other books in that condition, or is this just a one-off?
This is just a one-off. Usually we can repair the pages that we've come across that have been torn from turning or anything like that, or we find a piece laying in there. We have fabric tape to repair the pages, but this one was just pretty rough. There's like a lot of pages, and some have torn off at the sewing, so we can't even read the letters that's still sewn to the binding, and so she's going to remove those and reattach them for us. And we tried to turn the page and you could just hear the brittleness of the paper and it was just like crumbling in our hand, basically. So we just would like to save the book. It's the second oldest book for the county, so.
Well, I certainly think we should do that. Any questions
Nope.
To approve this?
to prove that?
I agree, yeah.
Do we have a motion?
A motion to approve the contract with the Signature Conservation.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter?
Aye.
And Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Take care, Kathy.
Thanks.
Next, the Health Department approval of the back-to-school event in Mishawaka. There's some technical things that the Health Department needs to get in alignment. They asked us to table this until next week. Any objection?
Sure, no, motion to table?
Second.
Commissioner Dieter?
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming?
Aye.
And Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye. Next, Procurement Department approval of renewal with Office 360.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bree Roberts, Director of Procurement, 7th floor of this building. Before you today, even though it is listed on the agenda as a contract, there is no actual contract itself for this item. This is piggybacking off of an RFP that was issued and awarded by another public agency. The contract itself is actually the RFP document, and the RFP response is what I've been advised. This is an extension of the award of RFP 03-17, which was originally executed by Region 14 Education Service Center in Abilene, Texas, via the National Cooperative Purchasing Alliance, NCPA. And as another public agency, as I mentioned, we have the opportunity to continue to piggyback off of the public bidding process executed by this other public agency. Just as a recap, American Office Products was the awarded bidder for this RFP. Office 360 is our vendor for this service, and they're an affiliate of this entity, and they uphold this contract award. Initial term was May 1st of 2017 through May 30th of 2020, with an option to renew for 5 additional one-year periods. Copies of the original RFP and their original evaluation of bidders is attached for your review. The Department of Procurement has worked closely with this vendor to tailor a contracted items list in addition to the master list that we get discounts on through the NCPA. And the Department of Procurement finds this extension favorable. Office 360 delivers exceptional customer service for all of our county departments through next day delivery of in-stock items, hassle-free returns, extended warranties on items such as furniture, and timely correspondence. We've had a great relationship with this vendor, and I ask for your favorable award.
Well, based on your presentation and letter, sounds like we're in agreement that we're getting great service from Office 360. And
Agreed.
one thing you said, additional five one-year periods. Will they be doing that? The cooperative will be doing that in the future?
Yes, so the original agency did also extend the one-year periods. I think this is our second extension for this specific contract since we jumped on.
Any questions? If not, do we have a motion to approve the contract renewal, the renewal with Office 360?
I have a motion to approve this contract renewal with Office 360.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter?
Aye.
And Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to infrastructure planning and growth. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter?
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming,
Aye.
and Commissioner Baxmeyer.
Aye. Moving on to approval of the GIS pictometry data sharing agreement.
Good morning, Bill Shalio, Economic Development Director, part of Department of Infrastructure Planning and Growth with offices on the 7th and 11th floor. Before you today is the last of three agreements that we have between MACOG, the Board of Commissioners, and the 911 Center. Originally, back in 2019, a 6-year contract was negotiated for pictometry services, so the annual flying of the aerial for the county as well as oblique photography for the county. We started that contract in 2019. MACOG was able to establish a fixed rate, not only for our county, but also the 3 other counties that they serve. We are now in our third and final contract, so 2023-2024 period. What we'd ask for your approval today is this data sharing agreement for this contract. So the county will have a fee of $51,627, either payable in one lump sum or in 2 payments over 2023 and 2024 for these contract services. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Seems very straightforward. I had the opportunity to meet with Director Turnwald yesterday, and he brought me up to speed on a lot of these things, so appreciate his time yesterday and the service that they provide.
And I just want to make sure that's the new 2023 aerial photography for St. Joseph County, the photography part, right?
Yes, yep,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? If not, do we have a motion?
A motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Dieter? And Commissioner Baxmeyer.
Aye. Next, acceptance of bids for the McKinley sidewalk extension and the State Road 933 and Riviera Drive improvements.
So at the March 21st meeting of the St. Joseph County Redevelopment Commission, the commission received bids for 2 infrastructure projects. The projects were RNS 92204 McKinley Sidewalk Extension and RNS 92205 State Road 933 and Riviera Drive improvements. There were 2 bidders for the project, Reith Riley Construction Company and Milestone Contractors North. A copy of the bid tab is attached to this memorandum, and the original bids have been filed with the Board of Commissioners. Kara has the original bids. The bids were received by the Redevelopment Commission so that we could open them, review them, and then we would have the Board of Commissioners accept them. And then if there was appropriate funding, then award those. So what we'd like for you to do right now is just to accept the bids that were opened on March 21st by the Redevelopment Commission. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions?
Those are two bids we're accepting, right?
Correct. We're just accepting that the bids, yes, have been received.
Right.
There being no further questions, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve these bids.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter?
Thank you, Augustino. Yes.
Commissioner Fleming?
Aye.
And Commissioner Baxmeyer.
Yes. Moving on to the bid award.
So now that you've accepted the bids, we have had an opportunity to review them with the consulting team that did the work, Christopher Burke Engineering, as well as our county engineering staff. We made a determination based on funding that we only have funding to do one of the 2 projects. So what we'd like to do today is award RNS 92205 State Road, the State Road 933 project, and reject RNS 92204 McKinley Avenue Sidewalk Extension. The Redevelopment Commission at its meeting an hour ago approved the funding for the State Road 933 project. So we would ask for your approval to award the project to Reith Riley for the Lincoln Way East of the State Road 933 project, and then again reject the bid for the McKinley Avenue project. Any questions? I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions? There being none, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve these bid awards.
Second.
Well,
No.
let's have some, why don't we withdraw that motion? I think we got to correct things.
I'm sorry,
Just withdraw the motion.
withdraw the motion
Yeah.
for,
What correction do we need to?
I think let's do these separately, just to be clear on the
oh,
record.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So the first one you're asking for is approval of RNS 92204.
So we're asking to reject RNS 92204 McKinley Sidewalk Extension.
Okay, so let's
We're
have
rejecting that,
let's
right?
have a motion to reject RNS 92204
So
on,
moved.
Second.
okay? Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote on
Aye.
a rejection? Commissioner Fleming
Aye.
and Commissioner Baxmeyer?
Aye.
All right. And then you're asking for approval of RNS 92205.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion for that?
Well, a motion to approve the RNS 92205, State Road 933.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter,
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming,
Aye.
and Commissioner Baxmeyer.
Aye.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I was wondering.
Sorry for the
Yeah.
confusion.
That's okay.
Next, under old business, we had been asked by the Health Department to delay approval, or to table approval of the lead grant, just so we could have Dr. Serban review things. And we met with Dr. Serban yesterday and had our discussion, and would like to, first of all, untable the action we took last week. So do we have a motion to take this,
So we need a motion to untable it?
take it off
To
the
bring it
table?
back to
Bring
the
it back to,
table.
That's right.
Motion to bring it on the table.
Motion to bring it on the table.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter,
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming,
Aye.
and Commissioner Baxmeyer.
aye. Now, motion, we need a motion to approve the lead grant. But before we do that, I thought
Well, Amy got up there
Amy was
before
going
to
to get
go
up,
over
and I
and
kind of
shut
sent her
down.
back inadvertently.
Good morning,
I
Amy
had
Rupi.
nothing to do with making you go back up.
Okay, okay. I need the exercise, it's okay. Amy Rupi, Administrator for the Department of Health, offices on the 8th and 9th floor of the County City Building. And we are asking for support to apply with the University of Notre Dame as a sub-awardee for a grant for our lead program. It is in the amount of $100,000. The salary recovery would be coming back to the countywide lead initiative as well as the Department of Health for current lead staff working on the program. The grant is for 1 year and it goes from October 1st through September 30th.
And the amount of the grant is how much?
$100,000.
Cool.
Well, we certainly support initiatives regarding lead and poisoning and the effects that it has. So,
Yes.
do we have a motion?
Motion to approve this grant option.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter,
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming,
Aye.
and Commissioner Baxmeyer.
Aye.
Point of reference, since, you can sit down.
Okay,
That's cool.
thank you.
Like,
Thank
the
you.
Health Department is now 65-0 on grants, agreements, and contracts brought before the commissioners. FYI.
That's 100%.
Thank you. Next, just a reminder, accepting proposals regarding Portage Manor until Tuesday, a week from today at 6 p.m. And with that, we'll move on to our report on Portage Manor. Councilman Catanzarite.
President Baxmeyer, Commissioners, Mark Catanzarite, 2022 Oak Park Drive, South Bend, Indiana, County Council District G. Just to give you a brief update as to where we are with the task force. I've had a little bit of an absence last week due to some family health issues, but groups have been still meeting. The ops board, Carl, you were part of that, met last Friday, the 5th at Real Services. I believe arrived at some decisions, looked through some plans that were presented to them, and forwarded those decisions onto the task force, which met on Sunday the 7th. The input from the ops committee was presented to the task force, and the decision matrix which the task force had put together which they had formed, helped them formulate an opinion, which they hope to put in draft form and get it to you guys. Was hoping to get it to you guys by today. Probably won't be till Wednesday or Thursday, but we'll get it to you guys well in advance of the 16th, so you have some time to look at it before the deadline for submissions on the 16th. So the plan is to see you guys on tomorrow, Wednesday, Wednesday or Thursday with a final draft of the task force recommendations. I know that you guys may be aware of it. It was nice, as a side note, the employees had a employee recognition benefit yesterday at the Chippewa Bowling Alley. It was well attended. The Portage Manor employees were all recognized and had a good time, the ones that were in attendance, and I think it was good for their morale, kind of what Courtney had been asking for, and was supported by a lot of donations from a lot of people. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Did you bowl
I did.
in your score?
You want my score?
That's what I asked you.
I think the best score I had wasn't very good, but it was like 112. I'm not a good bowler, Derek.
That's all
I'm not
right.
very much of an athlete.
Did the task force receive the business proposal email from Dr. Atella?
They did.
Will that be part of your guys' presentation, or is that separate?
I think the idea is that the task force will give you guys a set of recommendations, and in that recommendation, you guys will have to evaluate whether it's the physician that you're referring to, her proposal, or if somebody else comes in on the 16th with a digital submission that we're not aware of. There could be somebody out there wanting to do that, and you guys can evaluate those. But I think based on the 4 recommendations we give you, I think that you'll be able to take the information either from that physician or somebody else who is applying to take over Portage Manor and be able to make a decision from that and decide whether or not which proposal you like. Again, we don't know of any other players that are looking at
Okay.
that, but there could be somebody out there we don't know about that's going to submit something to you guys by the 16th.
Gotcha. And Derb can hook you up with those bowling lessons.
You can?
Derb, not me.
Oh, Derb, okay, yeah. I'm not trying to be a professional, I'm just trying to support, kind of like golf outings, just go out there and have
Say,
fun.
in case the commissioners start that co-ed bowling league again.
Maybe be a good winter project. That's all I have for you this time, Commissioners.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to public
Before we
comment.
do that, we'd like to let everybody know, if you don't, this is National Teachers Week. And to shout out to all the teachers that work in the community to try to help our children better their lives. So thank you to all the teachers that are out there doing that.
I agree.
I agree too.
Now, moving on to public comment.
Hello? Hello?
Just a second, we're going to have the people who are here in person speak first, and then we'll move on to the folks who are online. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Deborah Durrell, 21677 Naughton Road, South Bend. By way of intention to support the ongoing processes for the comprehensive plan and the IEC overlay, I'd like to address some complaints being made about development not having adequate input. At first, I thought this was laughable, but now I feel that this is a sign of progress. As per the statement from the old musical, How the West Was Won, about the cries of orphan children and suffering of settlers as just the sound of progress. So too are the cries of developers, and it is a good sign. The waste and loss long accepted by developers as the price of doing business has long drowned out other voices. I am happy to support a process that supports all voices equally and help move the fulcrum more to the center of the scales. I feel we are moving that way. The scales have been influenced both by intention and by lack of means, and that is changing. We are maturing into a more wise age of understanding that the how, why, where, and when of our actions are equal to development itself, not just as the new face of development, but as the power of innovation to meet more of our challenges. We have been NIMBYing each other from all sides to our collective detriment, including in these hearings. In the past 6 years, I have listed 12-plus ways that we are NIMBYing each other and hedging the system. The complaints of developers are the cries of progress, of crossing the old fences, of shaking things up, and working across newly drawn lines even to work together. It isn't easy to break new ground. A great model for us, and I think maybe the first for St. Joseph County, is the two-stage ditch design that the IEC is developing for the Nespajani Ditch, which has long been a contentious project. It's on the Sebasti land and is a beautiful compromise between infrastructure and environment. I have thanked all the participants in that project in a prior meeting, so I won't do that again, but I will just say I continue to support all the participants and the citizens who are working to protect our place of life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to offer a public comment?
Dan?
Oh. Seeing nobody else in the room, we'll move to the folks who are online. I think Mr. Matthews was first.
Yes, Dr. Fleming, I spoke to you last year about the impeachment of our prosecutor, Kenneth Cotter. He's been harassing me and intimidating me, and after you had a talk with him last year, he proceeded to hack my computers. Then on June 30th, I was beaten by Mishawaka police. And then I filed several restraining orders against judges here in the county. And the judges aren't allowing me to be heard. So I'm asking you to get a hold of me. I'm asking you to get a hold of me so that we can talk about all this, because I have several judges I'd like to impeach as well. And I want you to bring me in so I can file my articles of impeachment. Can you do that?
We will.
Your request is noted.
I'll be here next Tuesday. I'll be here next Tuesday if this request isn't answered.
Thank you. Anyone else online wish to offer a comment? Seeing
You must
none?
be doing something right, President
Just a
Baxmeyer.
couple- All of us. Do we have a motion to recess?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming,
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter,
Aye.
and Commissioner Baxmeyer.
Aye. Thank you.
Recording stopped.